Hello, my name is Matthew Perez, and this is my Week 4 multimedia discussion for MPA 594, titled Public Sector versus Private Sector. So let's begin. So a government agency and a private agency that have similar missions is the public school Los Alamitos High School and the private school Mater Dei High School. A thesis that I'm going to use to respond to Graham Allison's question, alike in all unimportant respects, is public and private schools are alike in all unimportant ways. Thus, their differences are more important than their similarities. And the three themes that I'm going to use to discuss this thesis is how are they alike, how are they not alike, and what's really important. First, let's discuss how they are alike. And I'll begin with the way that they manage, such as the various elements of work that is associated with Luther Gulick's POSCORD acronym. In addition, both schools have similar principal management styles that can be associated to Henry Fayol's 14 Principles of Management. Similar to the management concepts, both schools have similar informal organizations that Chester Barnard believed evolved from informal groups within a formal organization. The characteristics of both schools also have a bureaucratic system in which there's a hierarchy management structure. Understanding a life cycle of a bureaucracy will also help establish similarities to how both schools grow from its young stages and how an older school is less likely to go away. Both schools are also similar in that they provide jobs based on the merit system, that is from the Pendleton Act, rather than an alternative such as the spoils system. So now let's discuss how they are not alike. Since the bottom line for private schools is profit, they are driven to find the one best way to maximize profits, while public schools doesn't have that luxury, and instead they're trying to find a division of work that is a one-size-fits-all model. In contrast to Taylor's efficiency concept, Mary Parker Follett's idea of the power with rather than power over really resonates with a public school like Los Alamitos High School, since their goal is to devise a unifying method of educating a variety of students that may include students with special needs or have learning disabilities. And rather than agreeing with Taylor's one best way concept, studying an open system like a public school will demonstrate how the one best way method is not equally effective to children of special needs. Now that we've reached a dilemma that can be classified as a wicked problem, in which there is no easy solution to educate all students the same way, with students that may have learning disabilities or physical disabilities, we can see how public schools and private schools have differences that are related to public administration. After learning the differences between a school like Mater Dei and Los Alamitos High School, we now have a better understanding to why their differences are more important than their similarities. Our obligation to provide an equal opportunity of education to every child in America is an example of when it's appropriate to sacrifice efficiency over other responsibilities like equity and fairness. So Woodrow Wilson's public administration dichotomy would help illustrate how it is an administrator's duty to supply the best possible life to a public administration like a public school. Education is something that's not in the Constitution, so why would it matter to administrators to supply the best possible public school? The Ninth Amendment in the Bill of Rights gives us a better insight to the question, since it tells us people have rights that are not listed in the Constitution that cannot be denied to other people. In addition, the 10th Amendment also can be included in this conversation, since this amendment defines a balance and division of power between the federal government and the states. It is also interesting to point out public schools like Los Alamitos High School was not run under the Federal Department of Education until 1980, and this would coincide with the rise of cooperative federalism, also known as marble cake federalism, that began to rise in popularity after Morton Grodin's article in which he described how different levels of government intermingle with one another. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you all have a great week.